and our elder and leader. Mzee, karibu.
His Excellency President William Ruto, the President of Kenya, Their Excellencies, the Presidents, Heads of State and Government who are here, all the other leaders of delegations, the members of the Diplomatic Corps, and everybody who is listening. I have been actively involved in the struggles for Africa for now 64 years. I'm not counting the earlier years when I started following the events in the world, because I remember 1956, the Suez crisis. But when I was actively involved, it's now about 64 years. Now, during this time, along the way, our movement came to distill what we thought is the problem in political management. The problem we distilled was, in the same way as there is medicine for human beings, where you have a doctor, and the doctor has patients. This doctor must accurately diagnose the sicknesses of his patient. If he makes a misdiagnosis, the patient will not be healed, and he may even die. Now, in the same way, as we have diagnosis and prescription in medicine, we need socio-economic doctors. If you want to be a manager of human society, you must be careful about the socio-economic diagnosis. Because all these crises you see, they are caused by that, by misdiagnosis. Now, in the case of Africa here, by the 1960s, mid-60s, our student movement had sort of started asking the right questions. And when we looked at our society here in Africa, the question was, what is the sickness here? What is the problem? Some people are saying the tribes were the prescription, tribes, religion. But if the tribes are the answer, then why the tribes are there? The tribes are there, the clans are there. Then why, what is lacking? Because those are there. But the problems are also there, as you heard our leaders say. Therefore, in our humble way, we came by 1965, we had come to the conclusion that the main sickness in Africa, certainly in Uganda, was lack of prosperity. Lack of prosperity. Umasikini. That was the main deficiency, if you want to talk in medical terms, in these societies. Now, if prosperity is the main deficiency, what then is the prescription? Because when you talk about tribes, when you talk about religion, when you talk about all that, they are not answering the issue of prosperity. And they are there. They are there. So, zipo. Kwa hiyo, tunakosa nini? Kwa sababu hivi vyote vipo, makabila yapo, madini yapo, gender issues, wanawake wapo, vijana wapo. So, what is lacking? That's why we said what was lacking was prosperity. Prosperity means to have enough food, have good shelter. You can describe it. Education, health. But in order to get prosperity, if that is the main deficiency, what do we need to get it? Now, there was a lot of waste of time on the issue of how to get prosperity. Foreign aid, I don't know what. All that cannot bring prosperity, according to what we discovered. We discovered that in order to ensure prosperity, in Uganda for sure, each adult must engage in the production of a good or a service. Lazima kila mtu ajumulishe kwenye uzalishaji wa mali au huduma. Kila mtu mzima lazima ajishughulikishe. Swahili yangu ni ya kule na ya kuomba matoke, sio kama ya pwani. So, if you produce a good or a service and you sell it, but in Uganda we add something else. So when you produce a good or a service, you must do so with the echivaro. Echivaro is our Bantu word for hesabu au uchambuzi. Because there is also that problem. Watu wanaweza kuzalisha mali bila uchambuzi wa kutosha, they will not get out of poverty. But the good word for the Bantu is echivaro in our area there. I don't know how they say it in Okubara. Okubara, would it be there to count? Is this there in Luya? Kubara. You say Kubara? Huh? Kwaula. So we say every adult must produce a good or a service with a chivaro. Chivaro, if you say in Swahili, you know we need to help Swahili na maneno ya kwetu kule bara huko. Because when you say hesabu, I don't know whether it comes out well, whether you say uchambuzi How? But if I say to produce a good or a service with a chibaro, oh, everybody understands. Kule kwetu barani. In the rural languages, we say chura. And in Itaso, we say Aymar. Aymar, if there are some Tesos here, and Karamajong and those groups, Turkana, you know those groups which make a lot of trouble, you know them. So this was our diagnosis, that if you produce a good or a service with a chibaro continuously, you will get money and you will get out of poverty. But then, if that is the case, who buys what you produce? Nani atanunua bidhaa hizo kwa wingi? Who buys? If you produce goods and services, who buys them? Usingizi kama watu wamelala vile vile ni vizuri. Ukiwa umelala, nyoka inaweza kuingia chumbani kwako, inakuuma, unakufa bila kujua umekufa nini. If you are asleep, it is also good, because a snake will enter your bedroom and bite you and you die peacefully without knowing. When you wake up, you start now knowing the problems. Kitu kinagonga hapa, hichi kitu gani? Ni mwizi ni nini? When you are awake, you become, you have more attention. So when the Ugandans were asleep, they had no problem. They were there with their tribalism, Kabila, Madini. And you find a big man promoting Kabila. They think he's a great man. Our man, our man. But when we walk them up and they start producing goods and services, then they discover that, first of all, when you produce, like the Banyankore who produce milk, they don't sell it within Ankore. Because all the Banyankore have milk. I have milk, he has milk. So doesn't buy from me, I don't buy from him. But we speak the same language. Chemge, Aterere. Yes, you're Aterere, but are you solving my problem? Niko na umaskini, unamsaidia nini? In my tribe, you say, Agandi, how are you? So, we discovered that if you produce a good or a service, people from your tribe may not be the one to buy that good or service. You may find the people in another tribe of Uganda are the ones who buy what you produce. They are the ones who have, who don't have what you have. So therefore we say, you people, you see, Uganda is more important for you than your tribes. Your tribes cannot bring you prosperity. You can say, you can speak, Agandi, Aterere, Ndukwega Munozo, Chemge, Mulembe. But you may find those who greet you in your same language are not the ones who buy what you produce. So your prosperity is more premised. In the case of Uganda, certainly, me, I'm a cattle keeper. I'm a Mnyankore. Have you ever heard of Banyankore? If you have not, if you have not heard of Banyankore, this is one of them. But the Banyankore don't buy my milk. mainly because they also have milk. I have milk, they have milk. I have beef, they have beef. I have bananas, they have bananas. So the people who buy my milk are the people of Kampala, other people. So that's why in our movement, principle number one, ideological principle number one is patriotism. Uzalendo. Uzalendo kwa nini? Because you need Uganda for your own good. Whether you like me or not, you need me. Because I buy what you produce. Na kuweka pesa mfukoni. So, when the Ugandans woke up and they started producing, there's a lot of production in Uganda. Not everything is in surplus. Hatuna ukosefu wote. Now, when they started producing a lot of milk, a lot of sugar, a lot of bananas, a lot of cement, everything, the internal market was not enough. The Ugandan market was not enough. So, where do we put the sugar? Where do we put the milk? But your leaders were telling you about the tribes. Why don't the tribes solve your problem? Makabila yameshindwa. So we said, okay, have you heard of East Africa? Have you heard of Africa? Oh yes, we have heard, but we didn't. Because they were not caring about Africa. They were not caring about East Africa. Now that they have woken up and they are part of the wealth creation, they are discovering that they need East Africa. They need Africa. Because the little prosperity we have is because when we buy our products, tunakwenda you. When you close us, like I have had now, we have closed the sugar now. Please, fungua sukari yobana. When we close the, mchitufungia, mayai, eggs, maziwa, sukari, mahindi, all that blocks us. So therefore, that's where the second principle of our movement comes in. In order to ensure prosperity for Africa, you need patriotism in each country and Pan-Africanism in the whole of Africa. And so on. So therefore, leadership should be part of the socio-economic medicine to analyze what our societies lack and provide a diagnosis. Therefore, in the case of the African Union, I always see people coming, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that, but what are you going to? Now, the African Union is a crucial point because, as the Right Honorable Odinga was saying, it is the one which can enable us to negotiate together, to put pressure on those other groups, Wazungu, Wahindi, Wachina, Wa-America, to negotiate with them. And I am here to support the candidature of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga on behalf of Uganda because he is a convinced Pan-Africanist. He's not just mtafuta kazi. There is a job I apply for it. This is not career progression. It is not adding to your CV, the one, this one, this one. No, this is, in the army, when we are doing our other little work of sorting out some issues, there is somebody who is in front of the section. We call him a pointsman, a pointsman. So we are now looking for a pointsman, the one to lead us in that big battle of prosperity. Because if you say prosperity comes from unity within each country, and then it comes from African integration, economic integration, then who is leading this? Is the one who is leading is a convinced person, or anafanya kibarua tu? Because that's where the problem is. You see people are just doing things, just protocol, you go to Addis Ababa, French, Madame, Mademoiselle. The whole day you go to sleep. There is no conviction, no. So therefore, I'm very happy to come here to support on behalf of Uganda. Before I came, there was a young man from Djibouti. He came. The young man I normally see him that he's a minister. He came and told me that he was the one who was the candidate for Djibouti. Of course, I greeted him well. We took photographs. We had a cup of tea. But I told him, I said, no. I actually told him that I was coming here to support Right Honorable Raila because he's a candidate who is fit for this job. Because it is a job of vision, it is a job of conviction, it is a job of knowledge. So therefore, on top of the patriotism, you love Kenya, you love Uganda, you love Tanzania. Why? Because you need them, you individually. If you are a wealth creator, me, I'm a wealth creator. I'm not a parasite. I produce goods. Nakamua maziwa. Nyama yuko hapa. Ndizi. So, as a wealth creator, I need market. Parasites don't understand this. They don't understand what the wealth creators need. That's why they make so much food. Because they don't understand what is involved in wealth creation and sustaining it. But as you heard His Excellency Raila saying, not only do you need the market integration on paper, but you need also the infrastructure. You need the infrastructure. But you also need the peace. You need the peace. So that's why our second element, our second strategic mission in our movement is the issue of strategic security. How can Africa ensure its strategic security? We are here. Some people have gone to the moon. Have you heard of people who have gone to the moon? There are 4 people in the world who have gone to the moon. The Americans have gone there. The Russians, the Chinese, and the Indians recently. for us we are here. Those people are on the moon. You know, when I was fighting, I could hide in the forest. And if this is the hill, somebody on the side will not see me when I'm hiding here. But if somebody is on the moon and you are here, he's looking at you, and you don't even know that he's looking at you. We are like ants. Hivi vidudu vinakula sukari huko hapo. Mtu anaviangalia, havijui kwamba anaviangalia. You can bring doom, you can bring insects. This is not acceptable. And this is all caused by us, by the ideological bankruptcy of the people who want to manage Africa's affairs. Africa is very strong. We defeated the Europeans here by war, not just by talking. The Mau Mau in Kenya here, the Algerians, Samara Machel, supported by Mwalimu and by Kaunda, defeated the Portuguese army, total defeat, in 1974. I was involved in those fights. America Cabral in Guinea-Bissau, Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, our people there defeated Ian Smith by war, and we liberated South Africa. But after that, we have not consolidated. That's where the problem is. We suffer from arrivism. Tumefika kwenye madaraka, mambo yameishia hapo. There is nobody who can defeat Africa if we mobilize ourselves. So therefore, sorry to divert you, because if you are the ones who invited me. If you don't want to hear the story of my stories, don't invite me. So therefore, the support for Raila, historically speaking, has been on the side of patriotism within Kenya here. Because you remember, our thing is here. Mambo yetu hapa. Kulikuwa majimboism versus KANU that time. And Raila's father, Museveni, stood very firmly with Museveni Kenyatta on the issue of unitary government, the unit of Kenya. Because that majimboism had some element of sectarianism that time. You know that majimbo issues, what you call history, I call current affairs, because I was there. So, then Pan-Africanism. Mzee Odinga, Joe Murumbi, even Tom Mboya, they all supported Pan-Africanism. There is somebody who did not support it, whom I will not mention. One person. Because I don't interfere in the internal affairs of... So therefore, I'm very glad that you have united His Excellency Ruto and His Excellency Gachagua and all the other leaders, and you have supported our comrade Pan-Africanists. There are some individuals in Raila's group who I don't think know what they are doing. You know, I am a consumer of intelligence services. So I always see intelligence service reports. There is a character called Babu. I always see Babu. Dealing with anti-Ugandan group, anti-NIM group, seeing Ugandans. So I had never chosen him, but now I am choosing Babu. But those are individuals, they are not the Raila group, because I know Raila from the nationalists and Pan-Africanists. So, Munsamehe maneno mengi, I am here to support the candidature of Raila Odinga. As the chairperson of the African Union. Asante sana.